Morning student, today our topic is a poem, a photograph. The poet of this poem is Shirely Toulson. In this poem, the poet feels nostalgic as she relives the memories of her mother's childhood with the help of a photograph. The poem starts with the line, "The cardboard shows me how it was." Cardboard means a thick piece of paper on which a photograph of the poet's mother pasted. A photograph shows to the poet how the mother of the poet entertained her childhood. When the two girl cousins, the mother of the poet, along with her two girl cousins, went for paddling. Paddling means to walk. Went for paddling on the sea beach, each one holding one of my mother's hand. All the three young girls holding the hands of each other. And when the poet said that each one holding one of my mother's hands, it means the mother of the poet was in the middle, was in the center, and she, the big girl. She, the big girl here used for the poet mother. The mother of the poetess was young, was tall, was the eldest one, some 12 years. The age of the poetess mother was 12 years at that time. All three girls stood still to smile. Smile here denotes that all three girls were enjoying a lot. It shows from their smiling faces. They stood still because uncle is ready to capture a picture through their hair. Their hairs were scattering on their faces due to the sea wind. At the uncle with the camera. Who captured the photograph at that time? Uncle captured the photograph with the camera. A sweet face of the poet mother. My mother's. Here in the photograph, the poet noticed the sweet young face of her mother. That was before I was born. The poet said, the sweet face of my mother, the time when I was not born on this earth. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Transient means temporary, short period of time. Students, these two lines shows the central idea of the poem. What is the central idea in these two lines? That nature is immortal. The poet said the sea changed less. But what changed? Changed the human life, the life of the poet mother. And the poet said the immortal sea washed the temporary footprints of these three girls, footprints of poetess mother. It means the human life is temporary, the human life is mortal, and nature is immortal. And it is a very hard fact of human life that we take birth, grow, and then die, and our footprints with the passage of times just vanished, removed, disappeared, only memories are left. And here poet is also with the past memories of her mother, because her mother is not with her now. In the second stanza, some 20-30 years later, the poet said, after 20-30 years later, my mother looked at the photograph. And when she looked at the photograph, she would laugh at the snapshot. Snapshot, a photograph. See Betty and Dolly. Betty and Dolly are the name of the two girl cousins. She would say, the mother would say, at the time of observing the photograph after 20-30 years later, and look how they dressed us for the beach. They here stands for the parents, and also informed to the poet that how their parents dressed them for the sea holiday. The sea holiday was her past. What was the past of poetess mother? The sea holiday. Because now she was married and she was explaining all these things to the poet. And what was the past of the poet? Mine is her laughter. Now, looking, observing at the photograph when poetess mother is not with her, what she said, what was the past of my mother? The sea holiday that she enjoyed at her young age. And what was my past now? Her laughter, her smiling face, because my mother is dead. Both vary with the labored ease of loss. Vary means underwent a change. Labored, great effort. Ease, easy. That we both, mother as well as the poet, both tried hard a lot to adjust to feel easy with the heavy loss in their respective lives. Now, she has been dead. The mother has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. How many years passed? 12 years. Because the poet said, as many years as the girl lived. And what was the age of the poet's mother in the photograph? 12 years. So how many years passed? 12 years. And of this circumstance and of this situation, there is nothing to say at all. The poet said, at this situation, when my mother is not with me, I am not able to say anything. I am not able to explain my emotions, my feelings. It's silence, silences. Because with the death of my mother, the poet said, void, silence, emptiness enters in my life, and this silence makes me silent forever, because this emptiness cannot be filled, cannot be explained with any words, any expressions. That makes me silent. And in this poem, there is a figure of speech. Alliteration students stood still to smile, terribly transient feet, and silent silences. You can notice the repetition of same letter sound. So, figure of speech, alliteration. That's all, students, for today.